Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, get into the TA. Okay, all right. So I am just going to start this video off by saying I think we are about to start a move to the downside. We are stalling out up here. I am going to point out in this video where you need to break over here on SPY and QQQ to really signify that you are starting that move. All right, I'm going to start by deleting these alerts so we can clean up my chart. But that is what I was watching if you are seeing these. All right. We're going to start off here on the hourly time frame, and then we're going to actually work our way up to the daily time frame. And then we can take a look at the weekly time frame and really just take a look at what's going on here. All right, so we're gonna walk away from this video really just knowing what is going on. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna point out you have massive amounts of divergence just going on here this whole time. The whole entire time you have 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, 5 point, and guess that, like, where that really was forming in a rising wedge. You broke to the downside, you back tested. You then started consolidating up here, and now we're just kind of in this rectangle. All right, the top of said rectangle, top of said range is 456.38, marked by this horizontal ray right here. And then you have the downside, which is 453.93. If you could break 453.93, you have a solid chance of following this arrow and going straight to 451.96. All right, now what happens there is anyone's guess. But I'm just going to say right here, you can get a bounce here. It's just going to put in a right shoulder for a head and shoulders right here. Or you could continue higher. But I'm going to say, eventually this is going to play out, and I don't think we're going higher from here. And if you go higher, you're going to run into resistance right here. They can do it, but I'm going to point out in this video why I think that's extremely unlikely. And I think we're probably going to pull back to at least fill this gap right here at 441.33. As seen here on the daily time frame, the high of this candlestick right here. All right, but coming back down to the hourly time frame. All right, between here, all right, really here, I guess we could say 448. All right, underneath 448, you have nothing, no structure until you really get all the way down to 438. That's a $10 move there, taking place to the downside if you break 448. If you break 454-ish, you're going to head to 452. If you can break 452, you head to test 448. You get down there, you very likely just come all the way back down here. Because let me now jump over to the daily time frame. Okay, let's clean up the chart a little, get rid of these arrows. And now let's take a look at what's really going on. This whole entire move has taken place from here, right here. This volume spike, this is bearish volume, probably buyers stepping in. This is stopping volume right here. All right, it took place in these two candlesticks. That's stopping volume. This is where the bottom took place. Buyers were stepping in. All right, right here, move was supported. But guess what? Ever since the spike right here, you never met that spike, all right? You've completely had declining volume the entire move, and now it's just completely fizzling out here. And I think we're about to start seeing, if we see a big bearish candle with the volume spike, that'll signify that we're probably going to at least, have a few days of red. All right. And you're probably going to head straight to 438, in my personal opinion. That would be the outcome if you can break what I have mentioned in this video, 448. You're going to head straight there. You don't really have anything. You have, gap support right here at 445.50. It's actually 446.09. But yeah, I just don't, I think we're finally going to get that pullback. Let me also just point out, all right, your RSI does on the daily time frame. We didn't actually see this until now. Like literally right now during this video, you may have slight divergence. You do have a bearish divergence on the daily RSI. That is something I did not see, but that could be something that is going to help mark the top. All right. We looked for divergence down here. We looked for it over here. You had a bullish divergence going on. All right. It did end up marking the bottom. I'm just saying this thing is, destined to have that pullback. You have literally gone $48 straight up, and you have not pulled back. Okay, the deepest pullback you had this whole entire time was $4 right here. You have $4. It's a percent. All right, guys. The only other thing I can really relate to is this right here. Okay, right there, and it took place. You had like a $46 move. All right, trough to peak there. $45 move. We'll say 46 for the sake of it, even though we already surpassed that. And over here, guys, you had a $6 pullback. We didn't even have that. So I do think we're destined to have a pretty decent pullback here. So where could we be heading? All right, because we've established we do have that declining volume on this whole run. It took place in a 4-hour and 1-hour rising wedge. You can see here, you could kind of see on the daily time frame, but you can very clearly see it here on the 4-hour and then the hourly time frame here. All right, and as well as all of these divergences. Okay, here on the 4-hour time frame, you also do share the same bearish divergence as the daily time frame. That is something to note right here. But you have this, the RSI is at 72. Over here, it's not. It's at 71.79. All right, and as of today, it started turning down, cross under 70. There's, I don't really use the RSI like that, but some people would consider it a signal. But I'm just going to say right now, this thing is destined to pull back, all right? Before I even take a look at QQ, I want to jump straight to the VIX, all right? Because the VIX is directly correlated with our boy SPY, because SPY is just the ETF version of SPX, all right? So I'm just going to point out, VIX is at long-term support here, all right? Even if you're a bear here over on VIX, which means you're a super bull over on SPY, which that's me, guys. I'm just gonna say I do think we're coming all-time highs here on QQ. I think it's next because we've already broken the July top. You can see that. Okay, that was a terrible circle, but you guys can very clearly see we already broke this July top over here. All right, and that means this move is now impulsive. And if this is wave 1, you're gonna have a 2 and maybe a crap. Hang on, we'll just draw it like this. You're gonna have a, this is a 1, maybe pull back. It's either gonna be, you're gonna probably stop here, or it's gonna be somewhere over here. Probably you're gonna come down and fill a gap or 2. I'm just putting it out there. That would be perfect back test if we did it pretty quick, if we had a violent drop. I don't think you're gonna get a, I don't know, guys. They've been trading you flat, so I do think a rug pull is right around the corner. All right, like, a decent sized rug pull. Like, guys, we haven't seen red in a pretty long time. This move has continuously just gone straight up. The dips just continuously get eaten up. And that's fine. But there are a lot of divergences. Eventually, these are going to play out. That is a thing. All right. But I'm just putting it out there. Now that you surpassed right here, this is not a corrective move from this move down. This might have been the corrective move. And then you're about to have an impulse to move up. I think that's what's happening, because do you see this? A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. Is that what I'm saying? I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. All right, but if we're going to have that, we're going way higher. And maybe you actually shoot up here. Maybe you back test the all-time highs. And then maybe you keep going, all right? So I wanted to just talk about the weekly time frame as well. We might as well get that out of the way. All right, QQQ, we're jumping right into it. All right, SPY, I think you're going to do the same thing, because if you just put that right there and just that right there, you had a bull flag, and you already very clearly had a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. All right, and if you have anything like that, which I think you're probably gonna, not take out this high yet. All right here around 460, which the high of this was 458.16. Now this one is 459.44. That was our high over here back in July. All right, I don't think you're going to take that high out yet. I think you're going to, you already did on QQ, so I do think, buy this freaking dip somewhere around here on SPY. Stay bullish all the way up until the 0.786 fib, all the way down here. You keep buying all the way down to 420. I think it's going to get bought up. And look at that. It would just be a back test of that trend line. If I did have a proper trend line right there, the 0.786 fib in the golden pocket would align with that. And we have a bunch of gaps over here that can be clearly seen on the daily time frame. All right, if we see a scenario like this, this is where you buy the crap out of it. All the way down here, you're gonna have a gap right here, and I think you probably have a gap right here. I think I took it off the chart though. All right, you have a gap right here. I don't know why I took it off the chart as well, But guys, right here at 430.92, you have one. Right here at 441.33, we have one. They're very likely to be filled considering we only did have a $4 pullback. That is nothing. It is not, for a $48 move, that's kind of insane. Market has been one-sided, but the past few days, they've been just trading us flat. So well, not past few days, past few trading sessions. And speaking of last week, I hope you guys had a lovely Thanksgiving. I did not get a chance to tell you guys that, but I hope everybody had a lovely Thanksgiving. Hope everybody saw families and friends, and everything was dandy, and dogs, and yes. But yeah, guys, this is realistically what I'm looking for. All right, I want to be very clear in this video. This is like exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to break down, but your signal is like ultimately, if you want to completely unwind here and see this move to fill that gap and then come all the way down here and see the $10 move all the way down to 438, you're going to want to break 448. That is where, if you break there, you could just buy the breakdown. I think it's probably going to be an explosive move to the downside. All right, we want to see like big volume on, bearish volume, so red volume here. And yeah, you want to break 448. That's really what I'm looking for over here in SPY. In the grand scheme of things, guys, I do think you're going to pull back, get eaten up. You're going to probably come test all-time highs. Maybe you pull back, and then boom, maybe you have a big fifth wave. Or I don't really care what happens, but I do think you're probably going to test all-time highs after this pullback. Or like maybe... yeah, you're probably going to test all-time highs. Or just break it. I don't know. Like, this was a really big move. So, like, you're probably at least going to come test it. And if not, you're going to go like that. Either way, it's probably going to be 5 waves like that. And that, if this was wave 1, what about the other 2? I'm just putting it out there. And even if there's only 3, I don't care. Like, you're going to have another one. So, buy the dip. I want to be very clear on that while we're on the weekly time frame. I also want to put this out there, all right? So this came out last Thursday. And guys, I hope maybe you guys went Black Friday shopping. I don't know if that's a thing anymore, but maybe people I remember people used to go to Walmart and everyone got crazy, all right? Everyone got crazy. There were cops and stuff because people went crazy. But yeah, I hope everybody had a good last week, and because Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and there we go. But yeah, guys, 45%. It just keeps going up. And look at this 1-year high over here, 51%. All right, historical average is not near that. But I am going to point out this also is down at 23%. Okay, so I'm not saying we are about to, reverse from here, but it is even getting to the point where people are just getting one-sided because this market has been going straight up. Dips, I will not even deny it. I haven't been denying it the whole time, but like you can't deny it either. This dip can very likely, no, not even very likely. I'm not going to say very likely. It can very well. I used the wrong terminology there. This dip can very well get eaten up, and we make a new high somehow, and somehow we push 459. I have absolutely no idea. But I think you're probably like seeing a rally, maybe delayed. I don't know. I don't know how deep this is gonna go. Because are you gonna get something like this? Guys, did we have 5 waves here? I'm not even an Elliott guy. Is this a thing? Is this considered? Can this be a wave 2? It's complete sideways move right here. And you shoot up. I have absolutely no idea. But I think you're probably gonna get some sort of this. All right. I don't know. You could get all the way to the golden pocket, or you could just fill some of these gaps. I think you're at least doing this. And I think if you break through right here, I think you're going to come down here and fill this gap. And there's a psych level 430, but like there's no support here. And then you find yourself with the golden pocket. And right here, you have that support. So that's what I want to point out here. That's why I drew my circle right here. So maybe we see something like that. I have no idea. And then the dip gets eaten up. And then we go like boom, bop, bing, boo, pow. Boom. All right. And we do, but since it went straight up this time, is it going to go straight up that time? No idea. That I do not know. Because it could. And we all know it. Oh, that's all-time highs? Way too high. I'm not comfortable with that. All right, there we go. That's going to be crazy, guys. Imagine breaking all-time highs. It's going to be insane. All right, guys. So we're gonna come visit VIX one more time. Your RSI is oversold. You're at support. I do think you're gonna follow this area, and you're probably gonna test this 15 area. Why? Because you have a lot of stuff going on at the area. All right, you're kind of getting bought up and sold off right here at this area. You see a lot of stuff happening here, and if we extend that line, you also have that. This is what we can call it. All right. Um, so yeah, I do think you're probably going to make another touch point right here of that 15 area. Maybe stall out a little here. And you're probably going to see another spike, all right? I think we just saw the VIX go from here when everyone thought there was going to be a market crash. And I was trying to tell people, guys, that the VIX, now you guys see, all right? Now you guys, like anybody who's been around on the channel for the last, at least like came here before the last month. I think I took this red line off here for quite some time, but I'm just pointing out, like, when the VIX is up here, 100% of the time, you're going to see this line at 65. All right, it's going to be 65. Why? Because every time the RSI gets up here, VIX tends to completely cool off. All right, within days. So you can, like, buy puts. Now, this time around, all right, or not puts, you could buy calls on the SPY. Time around, it was playing with us, okay? Like, let's just look at what was really happening. This was back in October. You had over here at the end of October, all right? So beginning October, end of October. What happened on SPY? Beginning of October, you ended up going up. End of October, you died. Okay? So, like, yeah, the VIX was giving us that signal, but then you also died again on SPY. And then VIX just kept giving us these signals, all right? You see all these divergences. So VIX wasn't like the most helpful over here, but this is why we cover the VIX, because you can do TA just like this. And, support tends to hold, like you guys see all of these back tests here. We knew VIX was probably going to back test this trend line at some point. Look at it happen. And you just kept back testing it and you kept failing. All right. I think we're probably going to put in something like that. And then, maybe the RSI gets back up here and then just look for this to happen. That's all I'm saying. All right. And then eventually it cools down, completely cools down. We're probably going to have a Santa rally like I just spoke of. Something like this. This is a really realistic roadmap right here. Okay. Why is it realistic? Because this is the end of December. We want to push this into January. How long did this take? Because this thing was very explosive. This took 16 bars. All right. So if we sell off into beginning of January, there you go. That's 20 bars. Maybe we do. I think it's probably going to be a rather explosive thing. Maybe we're probably not going to have we might have record sales. I have absolutely no idea. I know Amazon just beat, so Amazon's probably going to have record sale. Speaking of Amazon, let's take a look at some charts. All right, guys, because we did not have a weekly update. I'm sorry, guys. I was just gassed last night, and I fell asleep at like 8 o'clock. And then I woke up at 2 o'clock, and I stayed awake just the whole day. But it was cool, okay? I just was kind of up from 2 o'clock, and then I went to the gym right when they opened. I started driving there at 4:30, and then I sat in the parking lot waiting for them to open like a weirdo. So that was cool. And then I took my dogs for a walk, or for a mile hike for, guess what time, guys? All right. 6 o'clock. That was cool. Turns out sun does not come up now until like 7. So that's also cool. It was dark for a while. But it was cool. It was the break of dawn, and I witnessed it all. Nah, it's okay. I normally go like right at the break of dawn, so it's chill. But when I first got out there, it was like kind of pitch black. So yeah, it was cool. It wasn't really cool. I was scared like there were coyotes. I was like, oh geez, they're gonna eat my dogs. It's okay, guys. All right. I've had a long day, but yeah, let's get back to the charts. Not get off track here. You have a shooting star candlestick going on over here. I know you have increasing volume, but these are the volumes that I really care about. But I will point out, yeah, okay, the other day was like a half day, so or not a half day. That was the day after. Friday wasn't a half day. The day before Thanksgiving was a half day. I don't even freaking remember. It's okay. Nah, I'm starting to think Friday was a half day because yeah. Oh, Friday was definitely a half day. It had to have been. Look at this volume across the board. I'm bugging. Friday had to have been. Either way, guys, you had increasing volume over here on SPY on just another doji candlestick up here. So you're definitely stalling out. So this range break here between here and here, you're either flagging to go to the upside or to the downside. You have like a rectangle kind of shape going on. You're probably going to, you know, have a decent move here. You're either going to break up and come test the high up here, all right? Which is up at 459.44. So you're either gonna come up there and test that, or you're gonna break down. And if you can break down from here, you're probably gonna break down from and from there and come test 448. If you break down from there, we're gonna, you know, see this literally play out. All right, and then puts for see where these roadmaps that we're going over right now. Besides that, okay, are decently realistic. What if you see something like this? You come and back test all-time highs. Not like that. Hang on. Just like that. Probably gonna, you know, I don't know. And then boom, you start shooting up again. Maybe it takes some time though. And you just start one of these long runs. Not one of those. This is what I meant. One of these like sideways but up movements. I don't know, guys. What if we started another bull market? I don't know. What if it's a big one? Because this over here, look at this guy. This guy pulled back some, but then it just kept going. I don't think we're going to do that. I'm going to be completely honest. I think it's going to be somewhat of a sideways market once we break all-time highs. Who's going to be the buyer? I don't know. We'll see, though. We will see what happens. Okay, let's stop talking about that. I really don't want to sound like a perma bull here. All right, I'm not a perma bull, though. I'm just pointing out right now I'm bearish. I am bearish. I cannot deny. It makes no sense to really be a bull up here. I really don't believe so. Even my coworker, who was bullish and ended up catching this move, he ended up buying in right before the CPI gap up, which is right here. Even he is not waiting for 460 like he originally wanted to. So I'm just pointing it out. I don't know who's a buyer up here. Are you a buyer up here? Let me know in the comments. I want to know if you're still bullish on this market. If you're a day trader, I understand you just have rules, okay? Like, hey, if you're above here, guess what? We're probably going, and I understand you're probably getting squeezy like you did today. You got squeezy. Look at this. Did you get squeezy over? No, you literally stayed flat all day. I can't call this anything, all right? But this guy over here, right? You just kept squeezing higher. Everyone saw like just the slow grind higher. I'm just pointing out. We've been pointing like actually we should have started by looking at the 5-minute chart. This is pretty clean. You can see if you break down from here, you're very clearly gonna come test over here. If you break up, you're very clearly gonna come test over here. All right, I can't really. Can we get all the way over there? Yes, we can. All right. So there's really nothing above us right now other than, you know, the July high over here. So, you know, it's one or the other. Either way, if you do that, you're going to come back test this rising, the rising wedge again. But, you know, I think it's probably time that you're going to see all these divergences play out. We got a lot of stuff going on. You come over to ES and we just divergence after divergence over here on ES and NQ. All right, same with over here. And yeah, you come over here to Apple. Let's just look at some individual tickers here. What did I just type in? There we go. Apple has also been a prime example of something that has gone up on declining volume here. All right, and as you see, these have just been like the same little like gap ups or just like squeezes we just spoke about that we just saw on SPY. All right, except more aggressive. Look at this over here on Apple. All right, guess what, guys? We were bullish on Apple over here, but now you can't be bullish on Apple up here. Not when you've also gone up on decreasing volume. Now, is it bullish, this move that just kind of broke out just amazingly from this this bull flag we had going on that we definitely saw here and pointed out? Yeah. All right, yeah, and I'm also just gonna point out that kind of line up. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe you had a false breakdown because this is what I had on my chart for a while. It was right here. Maybe it was right here. Okay, and you did end up breaking down from here. It's a little sloppy, but in the grand scheme of things, all right, you really did end up holding your own up here. All right, look at this. All right, it was a classic break and retest. Call it a double bottom. You know, I'm not saying Apple goes insane, but this thing is probably going to break this high after this next pullback because you've had a really explosive move. But then again, over here, but then again, you massively sold off over here. So I can't talk about that. All right. So, you know, we can't relate it to, but then again, guys, this looks amazingly bullish. It looks like, look at this. Bull flag broke up. All right, you had a pullback, you just kept going up. Guys, all like every dip on Apple has been bought. Everyone should remain bullish on Apple. If you ever see the weekly RSI low, just please buy Apple for your own sake. Here you had a bullish divergence. All right, let's move on. Okay, let's talk about QQQ on the hourly time frame because I did not go over what we need to be paying attention to. All right, here on QQQ, okay. So you are right here at resistance, but I'm going to point out around 384. If you break down from there, you are very likely going to start coming down to 374. That is also a $10 move. So pick your poison. I'm just going to point out, I think Apple, stocks like Apple, let's just take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft has been leading the pack. This thing is a beast. All right, it is a beast. I cannot deny. And, you know, you've had some volume in here as well. So, you know, people are really buying up here. There's a lot of action going on. There's a lot of transactions going on. But yeah, you've also just skyrocketed here. It's massive. Okay, it's absolutely massive here. Absolutely massive. But yeah, you come over here to the hourly time frame. In like this channel looking thing up here. Watch for these breakdowns across the board because they all really have them, and Apple already broke down. All right, but then you also had this, and you also broke down. So Apple's already in like the process of, you know, I think shifting momentum here. Tesla, I think it can go either way. I'm just putting it out there. If you really want to play Tesla to the upside, I'd wait for a breakout. Tesla has always been, you know, good to us with breakouts. You know, but I know that because, you know, we've covered Tesla here, you know, when we see these setups for quite some time here. All right, but yeah, you very clearly have some sort of pennant building up here, and it was off of a gap up here on the daily time frame. So you've been within the range has been within like 6% here. You're probably going to have a decent breakout here and have a 10% move. All right, you're either going to come down here and revisit these levels down here, or you're going to bust all the way up here and visit there. It's one or the other, but yeah, I think you're probably going to bust down. I don't know. We're going to have to see. We are going to have to see. Meta's looking bullish right here, all right? You just break and retest here, but I think you're still probably going to continue with that pullback. All right, I think it probably does get ugly. It's probably not going to be that clean, but maybe it does. All right, but I do think everything is going to have a much deeper pullback than we just had, all right? Right here, we could very easily get a back test here on SMH. There goes over here on AMD. All right, AMD is another prime candidate of going up and decreasing volume. The whole move, it went straight back to all-time highs. All right, or not AMD. All right, NVIDIA right here. I knew it. Okay. AMD did go straight up on declining volume, all right? But NVIDIA right here went straight up to all-time highs. Insane move. All right, absolutely insane move. But back here, you see it was literally declining volume right here. All right. And the big volume days are on the bear. They're like when bears could, you know, take positions during the day. Now, a lot of squeezing's got to be going on NVIDIA over here. And I'm just pointing out this thing is probably going to start breaking down. It's probably going to come all the way back down here. Let's just put on a Fibonacci here. All right, guys, if you don't use Fibonacci retracements, I suggest you do. There's no reason not to. They do, they help quite a bit. And over here, you got the 50% retracement. Or you can come down here all the way to the golden pocket. But I'm just going to say over here, if you see 450 on NVIDIA, it wouldn't, you know, be too bad, in my personal opinion, all right? Maybe we see something like this. Put it out there. All right, guys. So I'm going to close out the video here. You do have reversal candlesticks across the board. I think that is what I really want to make clear here. It looks like you're going to keep pulling back here. All right, like literally shooting star candlesticks just everywhere. And then you do have over here on QQQ. All right, spinning top candlesticks, doji candlesticks, whatever you want to refer to them. They're here. All right. But yeah, I actually want to point out coin's an absolute monster here. What is this? All right, what is this? Breakout to a new high much? Insane. Insane move over here. You really don't have anything going on. Well, I guess you actually do have a lot of transactions going on over here. But till all the way up here at 150. Like, 150 to 158-ish, 160-ish. I'm just saying, but then again, you're going to have this resistance and you have the top of the channel. So I do think you're probably going to stall out right here around 130. And your RSI is all the way up there, right? When your RSI got up here last time, you completely stalled out. So that's something to take note of. But yeah, let's just actually go over to Bitcoin. I want to point out this thing is just stalling out at resistance, and coin is just squeezing out. So do the shorts know something that we don't? I don't know, but it's going absolutely insane. Mara, Riot, they're not doing too bad, but coin's just going insane. I don't know why coin's going insane. Maybe a really big move's about to happen. I have absolutely no idea. All right, let's just measure this move from the bottom. All right, 26 bars. It was a $68 move. Right here, we have a $50 move. If it gets up here, it'll be a $60 move. All right, but we're already at 21 bars. All right, so we could keep going. All right, like look at this, guys. It's respected this channel for quite some time. This is a $55 move. We probably have some more gas in the tank over here on coin. All right, $50. Probably going to come up here. 130. All right, and with that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.